what's happened, no matter what's been said, but I'd already made my mind up.
Don't worry about it. Honestly, guys, like, I'm good, so, like, be good. Bye, guys! Hey! Of course, it's bittersweet to be leaving the villa tonight. I did have a great time.
It's sad that the person who brought a lot to the show is the one they sent home, and they kept people that are very boring just because she bruised somebody's ego by telling him that I hope your parents are proud. And it also backfired because she left with a smile on her face. If he expected her to cry or to be upset, she didn't give him that. And I have to give Zara credit for not showing that she was upset and for maintaining her composure and leaving with, you know, with her health held high, and I'm very happy for her. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island, Season 9, Episode 17. So we start off with the islanders at the fire pit. Will is the first person to stand up. So obviously, it's obvious he's going to pick Jesse because Will is smitten with Jesse. So he picks Jesse to recouple with. And then Aaron gets to stand up next. Aaron, I think this was all the producers doing. I think this was all the producers doing. The recoupling, the way it sort of played out. Anyway, after Will, Aaron stands up. He chooses to recouple with Lana, even though they're in a friendship couple for some reason, even though Ron hadn't yet picked anyone. Next up is Spencer, and I'm surprised Spencer got to stand up. Spencer then picked Olivia, which I think he knows Olivia's not into him, so I'm surprised he picked Olivia. But hey, it is what it is. Um, and then we have Shaq. Shaq is smitten with Tanya. So Shaq stands, gives a speech about Tanya and how excited he gets, looking into her eyes. And they're happy. So then um, up goes Kai, surprisingly, because Kai, Ron, and Tom were all fighting for Sammy. Even though it wasn't vocalized, they were all interested in Sammy. So Kai stands up, he gives his speech, and then he chooses Sammy. Sammy's not impressed. I think of the guys that Sammy was chatting to, he was at the bottom of the list. You could tell she was disappointed. I don't think she really wanted to be coupled up with Kai. I think she would have preferred Ron or Tom. So that leaves then Tanil, um, Ellie, and Zara. And you can tell because it's only Ron and Tom left to recouple. You can tell that things are not looking great for Zara because already we know that Ron is best friends with Tennille, so he's going to pick Tennille. So Ron stands up, picks Tennille, which leaves Zara and Ellie. And because Tom had already said that he was in friendship zone with Ellie, Zara, we all knew the episode that happened yesterday where they fell out big time after he had lied about kissing Ellie. And he sort of makes the speech taking a jab at Zara and saying, this girl, she's genuine. She's here for the right reasons. She hasn't had the best of times. And it's like, you are the one who was played with her. Why give a speech about something when you are the cause of of her demise? This is why she's had a bad experience because she's ignored all the other guys and focused on you because you were flirting with her, so you can't say Ellie hasn't had a good time when you are the reason she hasn't had a good time. His ego was bruised and he wanted to get back at Zara. And sadly, in my opinion, it backfired because he thought he would upset her, he would make her cry. I know she was upset and she must have been a bit tearful, but she was able to hold back the tears and stand there with her held up high after he chose Ellie. She told him not to worry. I think he started to mumble, I'm sorry, I had to make a decision. And the fact that he said, I'd already made my decision, you made your decision because you are still butthurt that she called you out for being a jackass. So don't make it seem like whatever she said is the reason why you're sending her home. Don't make it seem like it's her fault. You've been blaming her for everything. And the fact that suddenly Olivia is starting to say, oh, Zara and I had made up, Zara and I, this is, it's like you were coming for Zara all season. Suddenly now Zara's leaving. You are now the best of friends. I didn't get that. And then surprisingly, Ron and Neil sit down and have a conversation about them recoupling. And Ron is sort of saying, you are my best friend. I get along with you, so there's no one else out of the coupled with. And Tennille was sort of thanking him for picking her because she was saying there's no way she would have gone back to Kai. And I don't see her going back to Kai because of the way he behaved. She's totally different from Lana and everybody else. So I wouldn't see that happening. Um, Ellie is happy that she stayed behind. She's in a conversation with the boys, so she's talking to Kai, Spencer. And for me, I don't know why they kept Ellie. Ellie, outside of the kiss with Tom, There's nothing else she's done. There's really nothing else she's done. And so during the conversation with Ellie, Kai, um, and Spencer, Kai says, he feels that Ron and Tennille would make a better couple because they have great chemistry. I think that they've become very close in the villa, and I think they've become the best of friends. So yes, I can see them becoming a couple. But the problem is because Ron is only 22 years old, he's too immature for Tennille. Tennille, I think, is 27. He's too immature for her, so I wouldn't see them working out as a couple. Obviously, Ron has a conversation with Lana. I don't know why Lana's still entertaining him. I really don't know why she's still entertaining him because he's talking about, I want some guys to come in and I want you to be tempted and I want you this. And it's like, you're not interested in her because if you were interested in her, you wouldn't want her to be tempted by anybody else. You'd know she's the one for you, and just as she knows you're the one for her, and the two of you would work in that. So I didn't get that conversation. Kai has a conversation with Sammy, sort of to find out where she's at in regards to the coupling and whether she's happy that he chose her. The fact that Kai is asking Sammy, "Are you happy to be in a coupling with me?" What does he expect? If she's not happy to be in a coupling with him, then she would have gone home. That was her only choice. If she had her own choice, if the girls were to pick, as has happened with the other bombshells that have come in, she might have, then we might have seen who she was really interested in. Because every guy she spoke to, she kept saying, "You're my type, you're my type." So I think she was saying that just because she was trying to play a, a process of elimination whereby she was trying to see who she would be closest to. In her confessional, she makes out that she hasn't had a flirty conversation with Kai, and for me, I think she was more or less saying she hasn't had that romantic spark or that emotional connection with Kai. Whereas I think she's more interested in Ron, and I think had Ron gone first, she would have been happy to couple up with Ron. But that's just me. I think because after the whole incident with Tom, I think most of the girls have seen Tom for who he is and are not interested in getting to know him. A conversation with Ellie where Ellie's thanking him for saving her because that's what she more or less did because they're not emotionally connected. They're just there. And Ellie was saying, I'm happy to spend time with you even in a platonic capacity. And he doesn't know what that means. And for me, I'm thinking, what were you doing at school? Weren't you paying attention? Don't you have these days there's smartphones? Why can't you just go on Google and look for the meaning? Oh my God. And then we have the two lovebirds. We have Shaq and Tanya. They're on the terrace. They're always alone, sort of spending quality time, getting to know each other. We rarely hear their conversations. So Shaq then does tell Tanya that he loves her. And a lot of people on Twitter were like shocked by that and were asking, how can he be in love with someone he's only known for 2 weeks? They're spending a lot of time together. They're spending a lot of time, 24 hours of the day. So I guess maybe that's why. Anyway, everybody gets ready for bed. Obviously, everyone is in their new coupling, so they're going to bed in their new couples. Because I understand that mostly at night, that's when they have most of their conversations because they have one-on-one time, and especially if you're in a couple, this is when you get to know your partner. In the morning, the girls receive a message to head downstairs because there's two new bombshells, Casey and Jordan. Casey is 26 years old, Jordan is 28. And I've been advocating for this that I wish they would bring in older guys. And it's nice that they brought, you know, older guys because of the fact that Olivia, Tennille, I think are the oldest girls in the villa, followed by Ellie. I think Ellie's about 25 or something. So it's nice that they brought more mature boys. Hopefully they will have a connection with the girls. I was a bit taken back because when the girls asked when the boys were last in a relationship, Casey owned up and said a year ago. But Jordan was very vague, and I don't get why he was very vague. Is it because he's still in a relationship with someone or whatever? And you could tell the girls were interested. I like the fact that Tanya, for the first time, said, "No, I'm happy in my coupling." So Tanya and Jesse said they're happy in their coupling. Everybody else was up for debate. You could tell the boys were intimidated because I think the fact that they can see that the girls are really interested and they can see the fact that Tennille seems to be very interested in Jordan, especially when she found out that he was 28 years old. The boys sit down with Casey and Jordan, and sort of want to find out what are your types. And no, I like the fact that the guys were very vague and sort of said, no, we don't have a type, just like everybody else normally says. Then Casey receives a text message to pick three girls that he wants to go on a date with, and Jordan will get to pick three girls he wants to go on a date with. For their first dates, Casey picks Lana, Jordan picks Tennille, and I'm happy they did that because then those are the girls that are in friendship couples, and those are the girls that have said that they're open to getting to know someone. So I'm happy that those are the girls that they've chosen because the opportunity of them grafting and turning their heads are way better than had they started with someone who said they're in a secure couple. So I'm happy with that. I think Lana has opened up to the idea that Casey might be a better option for her because Aaron is not doing anything. Aaron just saved her from going home. That's it. Aaron didn't like Sarah, so there's no way he was going to save Sarah. So he saved Lana because that's the person he was sharing a bed with. Tanil, she's not in a romantic couple. So I appreciate the fact that Casey and Jordan were smart to take the girls that are not a romantic coupling at the moment. I like the fact that they seem to have great chemistry because this was the first time I actually saw Lana talk at length. And this was the first time I saw Tanil talk at length. They were very informative and asking the appropriate questions to the guys they were on the date with. So I think they're really interested in these guys, and we'll see how that goes. For their second date, the boys chose picks Olivia for his second date, and Jordan picks Sammy, which is interesting. Which is interesting. I want to see how that goes. I think they're both very bubbly and very outgoing. It's a pity that Zara was sent home before the new bombshells came in. I wish they'd done what Love Island Australia did, where Claudia was sent back with two new bombshells. Had they done that, I can see Jordan having a great connection with um, Zara. Even Casey. Zara is very open, and I think they would have been able to sort of tame each other down or sort of calm each other down. But hey, it is what it is. Vella, the boys are talking, so Kai realizes that he screwed up his coupling with Tanil for Sammy, who's not interested in him. And he's realized that he's screwed because now they've brought in two guys, and if all the girls decide to connect with the other guys, then he's at risk of going home. And while he's saying that, Ron says, "No, we haven't really. It's important for Lana to explore other connections with other people. So I'm happy that these guys have come in and she gets to see them." And I have to give credit to Spencer. I have to give credit to Will, and I have to give a lot of credit to Shaq. Shaq deserves a paycheck from ITV because of all the work he's doing. The fact that everybody else is thinking the same thing, but they won't say it. You could tell from the look on the guys' faces, they all were thinking the same thing because Shaq asked him, why do you keep doing this? And they was like, no, it's important for Lana to be tested so that she feels the same way I feel when I'm being tested because every time a new bombshell comes in, I'm being tested. So it's important for her to be tempted by Casey and for her to sort of see what I go through. And Shaq was like, no, you can't say that. You're saying that because you know Lana is not attracted to anybody else in the villa by you. Had she been attracted to two or three other guys, you wouldn't be behaving the way you're behaving. And Ron said, no, 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 she would, I would be behaving. And everybody, I have to give it to Spencer, I have to give it to Will, and I have to give it to Shaq. Aaron didn't say anything, but you could tell on his face he was agreeing with what Shaq and company were saying. Tom and Kai looked very uncomfortable because they knew that Shaq was speaking facts, and so when everybody said no, you wouldn't, and he sort of kept quiet. He tried to put words in Shaq's mouth, and it's like one thing I don't like about these immature boys. I'm talking about Tom. I'm talking about Aaron. I'm talking about Kai. I'm talking about Ron. Is the fact that they don't know what accountability is and they don't like to take responsibility for their actions. They're always looking for a way out or they're always looking to blame somebody else. And I really don't like that. I, oh my God, I digress. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.